Hi, my name is Leonardo and this is I Love Whiskey. So what is this whiskey series about? Well, it's about making cocktails at home and using whiskey to do classic cocktails. And as I said before, the easy way of course could be that we just take any kind of whiskey drink and just make a whiskey cocktail. But no, we want to make something that usually you're used to tasting with something else. Now we could always just take a easy whiskey, but no, that's not what this is about. This is about applying something about the knowledge about and the flavors about the whiskey and incorporating it in the cocktail and actually elevating the flavor we already like and actually love. So,
honey, what are you doing here?
Go, it's too soon. It's too soon.
I just drink my morning coffee and I'll...
Go, I need to first show what cocktail we make to it.
Okay.
Okay, I was also saying, to actually get into it, this is the episode about Espresso Martini, and this is how it should look, and hopefully it's how it should taste. So, 1 second, and I'll call my not so official assistant to come back.
Honey, I just drink morning coffee here.
Yeah, you do. So, I guess you like coffee since you're here and you want to make this drink.
Yes.
So, do you know what's special about the Espresso Martini?
No.
Great, that's a good set and good start. So, basically, what we want to do is, of course, create our Espresso Martini. Now, the easy way and actually the normal way is to use, and there are different recipes. I'm just applying the easiest one, and that would be vanilla liquor, some Kahlua, which is coffee liquor. You could also use other brands, and usually you would use a vodka. And this is a Polish vodka. Can you tell us what the name of this vodka is?
Dębowa vodka.
You see, I had no chance of saying that. Try that at home. Dębowa
Vodka.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you're lucky as me. Anyways, it's not about the vodka. It's about the whiskey. For this one, I chose Aberlour 12 years. Now, I could have chosen many different whiskeys, and I thought about going a bit more peated, but I decided to go more light, and I looked into the flavors of this Speyside whiskey. Now, if you don't know what a Speyside whiskey is, well, to make it very simple, in Scotland you have some major regions where they make a lot of whiskey. And again, I'm simplifying, but there are some main areas. Speyside is one of them, and if not, I'm not wrong, it should be one of the biggest ones, at least in Scotland. Now, when it comes to Speyside whiskies, there's no official settings or rules how a Speyside whiskey should be. However, there's a heavy weight on non-peated whiskies. But again, there's no rules that it's not supposed to be peated or unpeated. And with this cocktail, what we did is, of course, try to understand how this whiskey is. And this whiskey is really heavy on the vanilla notes. It's got this dark chocolate notes, even cocoa. It got some dry fruits. It has this really, and even a bit cinnamon base. And that creates a more Christmas-like flavor. Now, if you're new to whiskey, it doesn't mean that they put all this stuff in, not at all. All this comes actually from the barrel. And to do this cocktail, understanding the whiskey, we want the whiskey to be the hero. Normally what I would do, it was a regular basis, it would be, and you can see it in the description. And normally it would be 3 cls of vodka, 3 cls of licor 43, which is a Spanish vanilla liquor, and 3 cls of Kahlua. And last ingredient, which I forgot to mention before, of course, what you brought us?
Coffee.
Yeah, coffee, right? However, if I want to create a cocktail that's based around the whiskey, then I want to actually elevate the flavor of the whiskey without being too dominant, but still being present and being the hero of our cocktail. To do that, what I did was, and now that I'm speaking, I should remember one thing. What do we remember when we have these glasses?
Ice.
Yes, why ice? Because we want to cool it down. So while I'm speaking, I will start pouring stuff and explaining why. So, since I want this to be the hero, it has to be a bit more flavored into this. So that means 4 CLs. To do that, I'm going to use a jigger, or a jigger is also called a measuring tool. So there's different types, and if you don't work in CLs, just look at the description and you can read it in ounces. But 3 CLs, it would be 4 CLs, of course. 4 CLs of Aberlour 12 years. And could you use a different whiskey? Of course you could. However, if you change the whiskey, you would also have to change slightly the recipe because maybe it doesn't fit for what you're looking for. Next thing, I'm going to keep the 3 CLs of the licor 43, and for that I'm going to use my bigger jigger, which has the 3 and 6 CLs, so I don't even need to look here if I'm pouring. I just pour it to the top. We switch bottles. And the last or final alcohol is licor. I was going to say, no, of course, Kahlua. And for the Kahlua, I want actually to put a bit less than I would normally, because now you will get sweetness from this one, you will get sweetness from this one, and usually you have the vodka, and the vodka is not sweet at all. And since we added whiskey, even though it's not sweet, it is sweet compared to a vodka. So therefore, I will put down this to 2 CLs. Again, if you want the measurements, just read the descriptions and you can see it in ounces as well. And for that, I'll take my small measuring tool and take the 2. Thank you. So what else is new? Oh yeah, we need the coffee that you brought us. Can you please pour it in? You can just pour it.
All of them?
Yes, because we have 3 CLs. Now this part is of course the more technical part, and what I would say is if you don't shake it hard enough, then you won't get that foam. You remember, now I think we're running like 4 or 5 minutes right now. You can see the foam is still beautiful, you can still see it, and it looks great. If you don't shake it hard enough, then what will happen is that you won't get that beautiful foam, and it will not look as attractive as this one. So, shake it very hard. Would you like to do it? No?
I just showed them.
You can show them.
Yeah.
Stop. Okay, don't do this at home. It's alright like where she held it, but what you want to do is, there's different things. You can even do it here. I never do it there because I'm used to doing it up here. But since it's this type of shaker, I can also do it with one hand. And if we hit hard enough, well, 2 things will happen. This will become very cold, and second, we should get the foam. If I talk too much, of course, it can also disappear. You have anything to add? So, I should have a nice foam here. I could be wrong, and then we need to, of course, redo this video. So, if you see like something like cut, it's because we redid it. Next thing you want to do is always taste. Even though I'm pretty sure this will go perfectly, because nothing is other than the coffee, maybe that's different coffee from last week, I don't know, but most of it is already predefined. I'm not working with something that changes from week to week. Like this one will be the same next week from last week, same with that one, and so on. So just following the recipe, it should actually be perfect. However, I always have a tendency to taste the drink because else I don't know what I'm serving. And so should you. Also, if you were professional, you would also know if people come back and say, I don't like that drink. And you can ask why, and they can explain it's too sweet, and you can know if it's too sweet or not, and then you know how to fix it for the next order or whatever you want to change it, so on. Now, you tried the first one, correct, or you didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, then we're gonna get to that soon then. So, we cool down our glass, create a really good and nice temperature here, and hopefully you will see some nice foam here, and but anyways, what's important here in this drink is that you will notice there's a difference. Now, you will get to try it. The difference, we'll put now our coffee beans. And you get to try both of them. And tell me if you like one more than the other. Let's just hope she liked the... And you can see now that the foam here is starting to settle. It's starting to look like it should look, because now it's cooling down a bit, or it's warming up a bit.
Perfect.
Now there's a small difference. Can you taste the difference between these two?
This is more cold.
That's a good observation, right? The one that I made 5 minutes ago is less cold. Yes, I agree with you. Okay. What you should taste for it, of course, is that this one will have a bit more chocolate and dark notes compared to the other one, because you added way more flavors to this one using the whiskey. The whiskey combined way better with the ingredients. Because in this one, it's not about the vodka, it's about the coffee. In this one we just made, it's about the whiskey, or you give it actually some coffee notes. And therefore, they combine perfectly together, and they actually create a much more complex flavor than the regular Espresso Martini. Am I saying that the regular is bad? Not at all. It's a great cocktail. I'm just saying this one is way better. And if you don't believe me, try it at home. So, before you leave us, please remember to subscribe. And also, there's if you put in the comment field, you can also say if she should do the cocktails instead of me, or if you want me to continue doing the cocktails. Anyways, that's all for now. Please remember to subscribe. This is Leonardo, and it was nice to present the cocktail to you.